Yo, what is going on, guys? Brisk Commerce here, and today we're going to be going over some essential tools to be using within TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim software. Certain tools to use vary according to your styles and your likes and dislikes. There are certain tools that you can see over here in your developer tools. One of the best studies that I like to go into are actually seeing some quick studies about certain bearish and bullish candlestick patterns, including but not limited to the Harami, the Doji, which is a relatively rare pattern, the engulfing as well. So let's look at the engulfing pattern. It will indicate on your chart exactly where certain bullish and bearish engulfings take place. Now, if you zoom in by clicking on your pointer, also a very essential tool to use, you can zoom into a particular time frame. When you go into the time frame, you can see that certain candlesticks were bullish engulfings or bearish engulfings. If we zoom out to a one-day time frame, we can see this more accurately. As you can see, this was a bullish engulfing, where the bullish candlestick completely engulfed the bearish candlestick. Now we can see some more examples of this in prior price action as well, and using the studies is one of the best ways to try to understand price action. Now you can also check out some of the cycle studies, some of the daily studies, but one of the best studies to really analyze is the momentum studies. You can categorize your studies and look at some of the most relevant studies that you can potentially add to your graph. A MACD study, the moving average convergence divergence study, will give you an average of how the price action relates to the volume on any given trade day. Now essentially, this light blue line over here indicates when it's above the yellow line that the volume was high on a particular trading day. Then it converged and diverged when the volume decreased over time. So when these two lines cross over, you can kind of see that there was a shift in sentiment, causing the pattern to go from very high to very low. Also, you can see that now there's quite a bit of bullish activity. It's starting to diverge a little bit and converge to a point where it will further diverge. That is the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence study. Now, that is just simply one of the best studies to use. There are also many other things that you can use, including but not limited to using a trend line. This is one of the most essential tools to use. I'll go over drawing on the chart in a video to follow. Also, there are plenty of other things to utilize as well. Price action gives you a nice indication if you wanted to note a particular price level on an equity. You can also note multiple price levels, giving you a nice indication of some support levels and some nice indications of resistance levels. A support level is one where it's backed by previous price action history, and a resistance level is where after a bullish trend continues, it kind of has had enough and it decides to reject and move down, either because the sentiment has changed for a particular stock, either the volume for the bearish candlesticks have been going up, or maybe people are just starting to take some profits at these levels. It's also very, very nice to understand these levels as well. There are also many other things that you can use and draw upon, but some of the tools that you can use are a rectangle. If you wanted to highlight a particular area within the chart, you can do that as well. Now, let's say, for example, you wanted to see this pattern right here. This would be called a bullish continuation pattern. You can highlight this for your own personal reference. You can come back to it, even if you wanted to go check out another equity. So let's say we wanted to check out Tesla, and then, oh wait, all of a sudden, I want to go back to Apple. But guess what? You already have everything that you drew on the chart right where you left it. That's one of the essential tools. I also use the oval every now and then. Kind of gives a nice indication as to how the volume is acting in a certain period of time. You can also add some text notes. You can add a nice text note over here telling yourself that this was a continuation. Fibonacci retracements are a nice little tool that I use to indicate myself how a particular equity is moving over a particular period of time. Fibonacci retracements are a very, very difficult concept. It includes support and resistance levels. As you can see, there are certain support levels from here to here. This is the price range that I want to analyze. As you can see, the 38.2% resistance level, or support level in this case, kind of gives you a nice indicator of when and where the price will reject or potentially find some support. support. Now, zooming out from the time frames, you can also use the fib retracement on some higher levels as well. You can see where exactly the support level is based on the fib retracement. The 38.2% level is really nice, and I would also say that obviously the very bottom and the very top provides you a nice range as well. So these are some of the most essential tools to use. Also, even go into your tools and find some nice videos that you wanted to maybe watch throughout the course of the day. This is also linked up with CNBC, providing you plenty of different news articles that have been going on throughout the course of the day. Now, obviously, as a stock trader, you need to know exactly what's going on in the market and exactly at what time. Now, for example, you all know Jim Cramer, Mr. Jim Cramer himself, right? He says Nike is a buy on a pullback. You can even see the clip where he said that.
So there are two ways to look at this. Maybe Nike's brand is so big that it transcends politics because Nike's in a class of its own. It's not like boycotting a cell phone maker or a apparel company. You want Jordans? You gotta get Jordan.
God, I love this guy. He's so entertaining to watch, but he also provides some very nice insight. So if you wanted to go look at Nike based on your tools, you can go back to your charts and see for yourself how Nike is doing. This ticker NKE. So if you wanted to look at Nike, wow, oh my goodness, it went off today. So this is something that you can keep in mind. There's plenty of resources that you can utilize. Obviously, you want to catch a breakout like this, my goodness. But, you know, going into the tools will give you a nice holistic perspective about what's nice and what's good in the upcoming days. Let's look at Cramer's lightning round. Lots is down from the highs, gives you a nice support level at the lows over here at $5.71, a great buy. So, long story short, you can get nice perspectives and insight into how people feel about the current market. CNBC is always going to be plagued with a lot of different information. You just have to sort throughout what's right for you and what isn't. So based on all of these different tools and resources, you will give yourself the best opportunity to succeed in trading equities in this market. Now, keep in mind, utilizing these tools will not help you predict the price level. It will simply only help you make a more informed trade. Don't fall into the pitfalls of thinking that, drawing on the graph or writing something on the chart will give you an indication about how it's going to move in the future. That is the number one thing that traders mess up. So you never want to fall into that trap. Now, these are all of the tools that you can use, but obviously there are plenty more tools that you can use throughout Thinkorswim, but I'll get into those in a future video. This has been a brisk review of all of the tools that you can use within TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim software. Thank you guys very much for watching, and brisk out.